The morning sunlight slowly spread over the mud houses of the village. Birds chirped in the open courtyards, and in the distance, the call to prayer echoed through the air. An elderly woman, who had lived in the village for many years, was busy inside her small home. She was dusting an old mat and carefully washing clay pots before placing them aside. After a while, she paused for a moment of peace, taking a deep breath as she gazed towards the courtyard. Before stepping outside, she dusted off her hands and gently opened the wooden door. As soon as she stepped out, the fresh morning air touched her face. But the moment her eyes fell on the ground in front of her door, she stopped. Broken clay pots, leftover scraps of food, and scattered dirt lay before her. She knew that some villagers disliked her and threw garbage at her doorstep daily. Yet today, there was no anger on her face. Calmly, she stepped forward, picked up her old broom, and began cleaning slowly. Once everything was clean, she went inside, took out a red apple from a simple yet clean clay pot, and placed it near the doorstep. Under the first rays of the sun, the apple glowed, a symbol of patience and love. A few young boys and some villagers stood nearby, watching the scene. They whispered among themselves, some laughing, some puzzled. One of the young men spoke. "She cleans up our mess every day and gives us an apple in return?" An elderly man standing among them softly said, "Or maybe she is simply a better person than us." His words left everyone silent. The next morning, when the old woman stepped outside, there was even more trash in front of her door than before. But today, the look on the faces of the spectators had changed. There was no longer the same mocking laughter. Some looked ashamed. A few village elders sat under a tree, discussing the situation. One of them said, "We've been troubling her for so many days, yet she never gets angry. Instead, she gives us apples. But why?" A long silence followed. Their faces reflected guilt. The next morning, when the woman stepped outside, there was no trash. Instead, some villagers stood at her doorstep. One of the young men hesitantly stepped forward and said, "Mother, we have been troubling you every day, yet you never got upset. Instead, you kept giving us apples. Why?" The elderly woman smiled. Her wrinkled face radiated kindness and love. She softly said, "You gave me what was in your hearts, and I gave you what was in mine." Upon hearing this, everyone lowered their eyes in shame. Moments later, those same people who once mistreated her were now sitting with her in her courtyard, sharing the same apples of love. Hatred had turned into love.